Hi everyone, Gary Sivs here. I'm here with Mackay again, and as promised, we're here to have a look at the racing that's coming up for tomorrow and Tuesday, following on from today's and Boxing Day's racing. How's it going, Mark? How's your Christmas been?
Yeah, Christmas was good. Yours? How did the
Yeah,
kids get on?
loved it,
Santa,
mate. Loved it.
Santa
Yeah,
came.
yeah. He came. He came. They were over the moon. Well, my son, being the son he is, he got a brand new scale electric, and it's been ripped in about 4 pieces already. So that's standard in my house with things there.
All right.
Betting wise, how's it been going?
Yeah, not had many bets, but it's been quite tough for punters. I think bloodbath on Boxing Day for punters. I thought very
Yeah,
difficult, and today wasn't easy either. It's been tough for punters. I think. What about you?
yeah. It's the same. I think Boxing Day was there was a few winners Boxing Day that I would have struggled to pick out, in all honesty. But yeah, again, I try to keep the bets to sort of a minimum, really. But yeah, today's been a little bit better. A couple of winners today, but anything stood out for you massively?
Thought Zana here was really impressive yesterday off like a poor pace because the race was run real slow.
Yeah,
I was looking at times today, and wide receiver was 10 seconds faster than Zana here. Just shows how slow the
yeah.
race was run. And
If
yet he
anything, you'd
still
have
picked
thought it
up.
wouldn't suit him, wouldn't you?
No, because the last time it was run real fast
Mm.
and he quickened up, but this time it was run really slow and he still quickened up. But then that winner today was impressive as well
Yeah,
for the triumph. Elmery Heldon's horse. So, it's building up to be a decent race, but I was impressed with Sana here, I have to say.
yeah, I was. And then we had obviously. I mean, I know a lot of people were ranting and raving again about Shishkin today, but I just thought you can't really take so much out of that. It was just it was a run round. I don't really see how we shortened up, to be honest. It wasn't there wasn't a lot in behind. I didn't think today, and the Epitant run was, although maybe I didn't expect it to come that quick. His jumpings, or her jumping, sorry, is something I've been talking about for a while, and I don't know what
But
did you make of that one?
that was a real shocker. That was a real shocker to see her beaten. I couldn't see her. I couldn't see her way to get her beat.
Mm,
Yet they've got her beat, and she's well beat as well.
yeah,
So now it's up for grabs, the champion hurdle, because everyone's going to see now that by going out in front, I mean, Honeysuckle's connections are going to look at that and say, right, well, if we go off quite hard,
yeah,
try and put her under pressure early, and she stays 2 mile forward, that might be the way to do it. So
yeah.
other horses that may have skipped the champion hurdle because she was looking so good are now going to try and go for it, I think. What
Yeah,
about you? What was your most impressive performance?
I agree with you, Zana here. Yeah, totally. Really impressed. Has come. I don't see much beating him, to be honest. I think he's an absolute superstar. Um, Obviously, we had Altior today. To be honest, I don't. The Altior one, having so long off, and it maybe wasn't as bad as people are thinking. I don't know, but maybe just a run back. It's his first run for a long time, and like we said, Nicky Henderson's clearly been not thinking he's up to his old self because he's been very particular about where he's put him, and maybe he'll come on for the run, bit of fitness and whatever, but maybe he's just not the horse he was. I don't know. I won't judge him. I don't think until we see him again.
I was going to talk about all the races in the next Cheltenham chat, but I think Nichols might have sussed out how to beat Altior now. I think
Yeah,
an end-to-end gallop. Don't go slow. Don't let him get a chance to get a breather in. Keep pushing all the time. Keep the revs up,
yeah,
and that's what Politolog's going to do. And that's what Duke de Ginevra did today, and he lost his own chance by doing it. But I
yeah,
think Nichols knows that that's the way that you're going to beat Altior by going flat out, keeping him where he's out of his comfort zone jumping. I think that's because that's how Surname beat him,
yeah,
and that's how Duke Ginevra got him beat today by because he wasn't comfortable at all today. He was never going well
yeah.
in the whole race. So I think Nichols might have his number now, and I think Shotgun Pursuit is going to make them all go though.
Well,
I mean, he
I
was
was just about
impressive.
to say to you, that was probably my up there with my best performances as well. I thought he just looked like an absolute champion.
Mhm.
he's going to take some beating, definitely. And I'm hoping that after that, I spoke about the thrashing in our last video. I put the kettle on, goes to the mares now.
Well, I'll tell you something off air about that, but I'm not saying it on a video where other people are watching.
Right. I tell you, it was impressive as well. The in the handicap, the Richie horse with Venetia Williams, can't remember its name now. Royal something, was it? Yeah.
Royal Pagale or
yeah, something like that. That was impressive. That
was because it didn't even jump well.
No.
And it absolutely bolted in. It was on the bridle. That was impressive winner today.
It was. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, mate. Well, we'll crack on. Got a few races to get through for 2 days, and we obviously head down to Leopardstown tomorrow, and we'll start. We're going to go through them all, and I'll see if we've both got fancies because we haven't been through our fancies off there. So if we get to a race and neither of us have one, we'll just skip by it. But the first race is the maiden hurdle at 12:05, 2 mile 4. Do you have anything in this one, Mark? Is it
no, not really. I did have a look at it and thought it was a lot of horses that had been a little bit disappointing when they'd been beaten, and I couldn't really see an angle in on the prices, so I didn't really look too hard at it because I won't be backing in it, I don't think.
Yeah.
What about you?
I fancy the Gordon Elliott one, the Indigo Breeze. I think she lost a short head to the one you picked the other day, that Kescon Risk at Fairy House on her hurdles debut. Ran really well in a big field. And I just fancy her, having looked through the rest, I think it's probably the best form going into it. So I fancy her to win that race. But at the prices, whether it be a betting one or not, we're looking about 5-2, I think, at the minute, 3-1 maybe. So I might have a little double, but it'll be nothing big. Certainly not a massive race of interest. Okay, so we'll leave that one there. Then we'll move on to the pre-temps qualifier at 12:40. What yourself in this one? Anything?
Oh, I looked at it, but I just thought, well, this is a lot of horses that are trying to come 4th, 5th, 6th, and 3rd. You know, they don't want to win because then the handicap mark goes up. I mean, the boss's Oscar is clearly just trying to get qualified. And I just thought, well, you can't bet trying to win money in races where horses are trying to just come in the first 6. They're not really interested in winning. So for me, there was no bet in it. But I did look at the boss's Oscar, and I looked at a lot of them.
Yeah.
But the truth is, that no one wants to win it. Well, there may be one lurker in there trying to win, but I don't think many of them are trying to win this. They're trying to get qualified.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a fancy.
It's always the same, isn't it? They are difficult little races, these. In the end, I just decided to look at it and just think, forget that it's a pre-temps qualifier and some might not be trying. My view on it, if they all were trying, I like the unexpected depth. The races I was watching back when he won last time over 3 mile at down at Punchestown, he was in like a really big field. He settled well in mid-division, jumped really fluently, and then when they pulled him out and asked him to go at the last, finished just absolutely. It looked coming up to the last. It looked as though it was going to be a really close finish. There was a few horses in with a chance, and he just powered away. Didn't even have to touch it. Finished really strongly, and I think there's a lot more to come from that. But again, whether they're gonna push it out this time, like we've said, I don't know. But around 6-1, I think best price with 365 is that one at the minute. I don't think you can certainly not go wrong each way betting on that for me. But yeah, that's where I'd be at. But I do think I was looking down again, like we always do, trying to find a bit of value, and something might pop up. But I thought it was the 2 at the top, the boss's Oscar and unexpected depth that looked like the most dangerous. But we'll see if they're trying.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay, and then next race of the day, on at the 1:15. Which is the Leopardstown Christmas Hurdle. Obviously, quite a highly anticipated race following the Paisley Park and Time Hill Duels. We've now got the Irish versions and a few hot sorts. I think it's quite a hot little race in there. I'll give you my version on it first, just to switch it up a little bit. I'm not a Sire de Burley fan, and I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people tipping him up for Cheltenham, the stayers. We've seen with the horse I was interested in first in Main Fact when handicappers are stepping up to open company. I think he's got a lot to prove. I think there's a few in behind him that'll put it up to him. Without going through all of the horses, the three main ones in there that I really like. I think Fury Road's very underrated. I think obviously his form in the Albert Bartlett beating Time Hill has carries him very well. He come out and won his seasonal reappearance down at Punchestown in a good race, won well. Another horse I'm really interested in, I think, is a good price to be backing on, is the Storyteller. Another horse I really like. Told you the little story behind him. Last time my mate that passed away was known as a Storyteller. We all chucked a bit of money in. We've all backed him ever since, and he's a great horse. He's a horse that he's hardly ever out the frame. Basically, I was looking back. I think there's only been twice in his last something like 15, 20 runs where he's been out the places. So he's always there and thereabouts. Yeah, he's another one that's stepping up in class. But for me, I think he's a horse that could probably handle the step up in class. And the other one that I stumbled across, to be honest, it wasn't a horse before reading the races that I knew an awful lot about, was Flooring Porter. And I think he's the best price of the lot when you look down the form book. And I think he's another one that, was he trained by Willie Mullins or Gordon Elliott, would be a lot shorter in the prices. I think he's best priced about 18 to 1 at the minute, but that's only with one bookie. That's with Betfair. He's about 16 to 1 elsewhere. He's been supplemented into this after his last win 3 weeks ago. He has a superb record. He hammered the Boss's Oscar by 12 lengths, and he's beat other good sorts in that race as well. It was his career best last time, and again, he will have to come on again, but I think he's at the prices, he's about the best price in there. I tell you why I ended up going to back him over the Storyteller, because when I got to the Storyteller, although his record is really good, the couple of times he has been out the frame has always been at this track. His record at this track isn't very good. So my play on this tomorrow, as much as I think Fury Road's probably the most likely winner, he's a little bit short for me to be backing, so I'll be backing an each way Flooring Porter. Yourself?
That's really funny, isn't it?
Are you?
I've got a tough race to call. I watched Sir de Barley last time. I think he's the type that's either going to bolt in here, or we're going to see his frailties exposed. I don't really know which one it is. Yeah. Watched Fury Road's race back again tonight as well. Fury Road looked like he was going to win with 50 yards to run, and yet the two on the near side just seemed to have got him. But I can't get away from the Flooring Porter's win either. Last time out, at 18 to 1. And it's really weird because we haven't discussed the race yet.
No,
I
we
came
haven't.
down with Flooring Porter. Yeah. Because when I watched the race, I watched it live, and I thought, at first I kept thinking, that thing's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. And it was going further and further ahead.
It was.
And I know Gavin Cromwell hasn't got a good record of actually taking him up in grade. He seems to win a lot of handicaps. And that sort of seems to be, at the moment, as far as he takes them, he's not winning many graded races, but I think that's just a matter of time. I thought this was really, really impressive when it beat the Boss's Oscar, because it won easy, absolutely hammered them.
Absolutely.
Now, it's a big step up in grade, it really is, but he's a big price. And it's funny that we're always looking for value. Now, when you were going through it, I kept thinking he's going to say the Flooring Porter next, and he did. And that's the one I've got here. That's the one I've come down on, Flooring Porter at 18 to 1, because I can't decide at the top of the market what I want to do.
Yeah.
And when I see an outsider like that I like, then I'd rather back him.
Totally
and
agree.
if he doesn't take the jump in class, he doesn't take it. But I went for the Flooring Porter as well, so that was my play, 18 to 1 Flooring Porter for me.
Well, fingers crossed then, mate. If it's one that we both seem to land on there, it might be a good match,
so.
But people might think we're joking, but we really haven't spoke about any of our fancies or races before this. We've had a look today, and we've come on to do the video without talking about any race at all. So yeah, it is coincidence, but can only be a good thing. I think that we've both picked it out, mate. So. Going to be a good race, that one, no matter what wins. I can see it being a very good race. I mean, you've obviously got the likes of Ronald Pump and that in there as well, so
yeah, I mean, he's got a chance. He failed last time, but that was only 2 mile 4. That's only where he starts starts to run, so,
Yeah.
He's got a chance. I just thought Floating Porter at 18-1 was too big. I would have him about 10-1 chance, because if he does take the step up in class well, he could quite easily run really big in this race. So
Yeah.
that's where I landed.
Yeah, totally agree. The next race is one I don't really have much of a fancy in. Don't know about yourself. It's the Christmas handicap hurdle. Anything?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not good on the Irish handicap form. I watch them, but I'm not very good at picking out the triers and the non-triers. So
I thought if that
one alone.
Bo Kaling could, it ran terrible last time. I think it was last 8th of 8th or something. But if that can sort itself out, we'll be in with a chance. But it's about top weight, I think, somewhere around there. But anyway, yeah, no real fancy in that. So we'll move on to the main race at Leopardstown, which is the Savills Chase, and I'll see what you've got come up with in it, Mark.
Right. Well, I just think this is the gold cap without Album Photo and Champ, really. Because after seeing what we saw in the King George, I don't see any of them winning. So, for me, I want to see a decent pace in this race. I don't want to see 6 of them camp the last in a line after a slow run race. I want Manila Indo to go out, make this a decent pace, and if he's not good enough, he's not good enough. But I think he is good enough. I think his form all the way through has been really strong. His Albert Bartlett win was really good. He seemed to idle against Allaho as if I beat Allaho, that's enough, and Champ just came and did them. But he started to run on again as soon as Champ came. It was just too late. I think he's really good. He didn't have many chases last season. He's the only up and comer I can see. He's the only gold cap winner in this race for me. Mm-hmm. And so I'll be going with him. I mean, I did really love Presenting Percy, but he's been so long in the doldrums. I'm not sure he can beat Manila Indo, because Manila Indo's on the up now, whereas Presenting Percy, no matter going Elliott or not, he's still... I know it's an upgrade in trainer, but really, is he going to be improving at his age? So for me, Manila Indo, but not a bet. I just want to see him win for the gold cap, to make the gold cap competitive.
Yeah.
That's
I agree with you. I think there's a few horses in this that that could go on to do really well. I think it doesn't necessarily say that the horse that wins this is necessarily going to be the best one going to the Gold Cup either. Different track, different situation. Other races will come before then, but I think anything that comes in the top 4 or 5 here is going to be of interest going towards the Gold Cup. Again, I've said this to you before. Manila Indo is just another. It's one of these horses I just can't seem to get my head into. And Presenting Percy, I used to be like that with. I've never backed Presenting Percy before in my life, but he's probably been my most favoured horse. If you'd have asked me this a year ago with this field as it is now, all my mates, I haven't spoken to you for that long, Matt, but all my mates now is a massive Ken Boy fan, and I always am. But he's just started to get to the point now where I just can't rely on his jumping. I'd like to see them do the same with him that you've just spoke about, Manila Indo. I'd just like to see get him out in front. That's where Ken Boy's at his best. These races where they've stuck in midfield and whatever, it's just no good. Just get him out in front and just let him see if he can run them all into the ground. So I'd be interested if Ken Boy could get back to those tactics, but whether they'll do that or not, I'm not sure. At the prices of around 6-1, I will be having a good bet on Presenting Percy each way. I think he'll be right up there. I understand what you're saying. I've just been, for some reason, that last win just said to me that I thought he jumped superbly. His ears were pricked all the way. It was a really good win. Now, obviously, it was a short trip on it. Was it? I think it was quite 2.5, maybe 2 mile 7 race. Whether he's not quite the 3 mile beast that we thought he was, and he could be more of a sort of Ryanair horse, I'm not too sure. But I was really impressed with him that day, and I'm going to take my chances on him. Also, I'm really interested to see how he does at 3 mile is Fakir Douderi. Obviously, he'd have to massively step up in trip, as will Sam Crow step up in trip, step up in class. Interested to see how they do in this. Fakir is another horse that I've probably backed all through his career. I really like the horse. A lot of it's to do with Joseph O'Brien. I'm a big Joseph O'Brien fan, really like him. So I'm really interested to see how he runs as well. Not quite a big enough price for me to be backing. I expected to see him a bigger price than that, to be honest.
I'm interested to see how Sam Crow goes up the trip, but
Yeah,
I can't back him. I just like Manila Indo. I think De Bromhead realises that he didn't run enough last season, and that's probably caught him out in the RSA, and he's had him out twice this season already. He's picked up a couple of easy pots, but big money, and now this is the acid test. Is he good enough or not? So
yeah,
I
yeah.
have
It
to
is.
go with him, but like Sam Crow's a danger, and he's a big price too.
Yeah.
He is a big price,
Just bringing the prices up. I can't write down. What is Sam Crow? Off the top of your head, I
about
can't.
12s.
Is he? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. 12's in a couple of places, 11's mainly. So yeah, there's some, it's that step up, isn't it? There's that question mark there. Sometimes you like to see him do it before you would back him. But certainly going to be another good race. That's for sure. So we'll move on, and next we come to 3 o'clock, which is the beginner's chase. This one, let's have a look. Oh yeah, we've got the short price big getaway. A horse that I really liked, so I was on him for the festival last year. Just wasn't impressed with that last run at all. And at 8 to 11, I'd be willing to take him on here. Got to a point where I didn't know whether I would just lay him because I wasn't 100% sure in what I would back in behind him. And that's probably how I'll play it in the end. I'll probably lay him, but if I was to pick one in behind, although he never saw past the first fence on his first chase run, would probably be Sempo. Probably give him another chance, and if he could get around, I think he'd be quite dangerous. But I think my bet in this will be just to lay the big getaway. He's going to have to step up after that last run for me. Yourself?
I always thought the big getaway was just a big. I think he's a big lump of a thing that's going to need to go in the National Hunt Chase, to be honest, to be any good. And I mean, last season he was third to Henry Allen, which is a good run for a big horse that probably wouldn't have wanted to go 2 mile 5 in the Ballymore. He probably would have been better off in the Bartlett. So I think if he gets his jumping together, I'd like to see this horse over further. I think 2 mile 5 in a beginner's chase is okay, but I think this horse is going to be best at like over 3 miles. But I don't have a bet in the race, but I'd like to see him win, but just scrape home so he has to go up in distance
Yeah,
for the National Hunt Chase.
I agree with you on the distance, by the way. I do think he'll be a better horse over further, definitely. Totally agree with that. Yeah. Okay then, anything for the bumper, Mark?
No.
No.
I don't want to see good bumper horses because I want Kilcruit to be the only one that Willie Mullins has got.
Oh, well, hopefully it's a poor race, then.
It won't be, but
Yeah.
that was very sad to watch the bumper today at Leopardstown because Willie Mullins lost a good horse in that today.
Was winning at
Coming
Canton,
to
wasn't it?
win easy and then broke down. So that was sad to watch.
What I haven't heard the thing. What happened to that, Mark? Was it looked like a heart attack or something to me? I don't think it was a leg.
I don't know. They just heard it broke down, and I think it's lost its life. It's so sad.
Terrible. Yeah, it's never nice to see. Mum and dad being owners. I've seen them go to races and lose one or two, and worst feeling in the world for the owners. And trainers and everybody.
Owners as well. Yeah.
They're
small owners. Yeah. And like the horse was so highly regarded too.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunate side to racing that we don't like to see. Okay, well, that about sees us off on for tomorrow, the 28th, because I don't think there's much racing elsewhere that we've got. I do have one. Sorry, I've got two that I'll be backing elsewhere. I won't go through the cards, but Phil Kirby's got a runner at 1:30 at Catterick. Lord Taranaga, a horse, obviously, maybe interested in Phil's yard. Mum and Dad have horses with Phil. That's a horse I really like, and I think that horse will go really well tomorrow. And Mickey Hammond has one in the last race. Mason Dior. Mickey Hammond is somebody who turns up at Catterick and he's a bit of a shrewd, and I think that horse, it's a course and distance winner, and I think that one's likely to win in the 307 at Catterick as well tomorrow. So there's a couple there that I'll be backing. Hopefully they'll come in.
Well, you know those owners in yards, so I'll be taking note.
yeah. Well, fingers crossed for us all. And then we'll move on to Tuesday. So again, we'll go through the races at Leopardstown, and we've got the. We'll go through the Maze Hurdle first at 1:15 because I don't think there's a race before that we're going to go into in much depth. And what have you got in that one, Mark? Can you see the hot on favourite?
Yeah, big fan of Concertista.
Massive fan
she's
as well.
She's giving £8 away here though.
Yeah.
Black Tears and good horses, but if she's as good as I think, she's got to win this.
Yeah.
She's got to win for me if she's as good as I think. Because I think, quite seriously, that she could win a champion hurdle.
But I've heard the talk on it, and I agree.
They don't want to go there, I don't think, but this is 2 mile 4 again. I mean, Black Tears is not a bad horse, second in last year's Coral Cap. So it's going to be no easy task to give her £8, but I think if Concertista is as good as I think, she's going to have to be good enough to give £8 to Black Tears. I'm really excited to see her. I thought her win last time out was really impressive. And although she's given the weight away, I hope she can win. She'd be my strongest fancy of the next 2 days. And I'm hoping she proves that she can either win a champion hurdle or the mayor's hurdle.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with you. And I've wrote my notes here. People are going to think we've been talking about. My notes here are best bet of these 2 days is Concertista. I think I've wrote down, is she about even money on the couple of odds that are out? But I think get on that before that goes. I can see that going. And even money, it's not something I would normally play at, but I just really, really like her. I think she's brilliant, and I think she'll win this. Yeah, she's giving them a few pounds, but I still think she'll win. So fingers crossed. We'll move on swiftly before we tie ourselves into it too much. We've got a novice chase at 10-2, a 3 mile novice chase. We've got the 1-2, I think, favourite in Monkfish. We've got a 5-1 latest exhibition. Those are Sporting Life prices could be a little bit better about. So this one, Mark, I mean, for me, Monkfish, should be looking at his last win. I like latest exhibition, don't get me wrong, but I think Monkfish will be winning this. The bet for me, I don't know what price you will get, but I'll probably bet without him, or I might even bet a straight forecast on Monkfish and latest exhibition. I do think they'll be the front 2. And yeah, that's probably how I'll play it. So yourself?
Yeah, it's a no bet race for me. Monkfish should win. It's a poor race, really.
Yeah.
Latest exhibitions, Stabler in such poor form. Because I watched that race back with him and Fury Road and Monkfish and Time Hill, and he absolutely ran all over them. But he didn't look like that same horse when he was beaten by Pencil Full of Lead. I know he came second and he ran okay, but the yard isn't running well.
No.
And I think he's just running exactly like the rest of the horses in the yard. So I want to see Paul Nolan's yard in better form before I'd think about backing latest exhibition again. And then it doesn't leave much for Monkfish to beat with Conflated and not in there. So I think it's quite a poor race. It's probably a race where Monkfish is going to contract in odds for the RSA for winning a poor race, and the form's not going to be as good as what people think.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely couldn't find a bet in that race. But that's my thoughts on it. I think Monkfish will win.
Yeah.
I'm worried about latest exhibitions stable form.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, just in general, Mark, on Monkfish, how good do you think he was last time? Do you think he looks like a rightful favourite for the festival?
He looks like an RSA favourite, but it's because the challengers are falling by the wayside that his price just gets lower and lower. I mean, I'm not sure On the Ropes was there to win against him because he was trying to protect his handicap mark. for the big handicap later this week. So I'm torn. Is Monkfish as good as? But then again, he's won at Albert Bartlett, and he's a chaser really. So he's still short really for the RSA.
Yeah. How would you compare him to like Chamblou? What would you?
Well, I love Chamblou.
Yeah.
But I think Chamblou's one of these that might not stay fully in a 3 mile RSA up the hill.
Yeah.
I thought he was stopping a wee bit yesterday, but his jumping kept him winning because he was gaining lengths on the big breakaway all the way down the straight. But you could tell he was all out, and that's at Kempton on a sharp track. And when he has to go up the hill at Cheltenham, I don't see Chamblou winning the RSA, but I thought his jumping was superb. I don't think there's a horse in the RSA that'll jump better than Chamblou. It's whether he can stay the 3 mile fully to get up the hill.
Yeah. I'm just, because I look at, I think about 3-1 you're looking at for Monkfish at the minute, and you look at what's in behind him, and I'm not, half of me thinks it's a good price because there's a lot in behind that aren't going to run there, as you get with these all the time. Your second favourite's Envoy Allen. So, and then,
yeah.
Next Destination.
I don't rate him.
No,
really.
can't get my head round him. I can't decide one way or the other, to be honest. Then you've got Chamblou, Pencil Full Lead, then you've got Latest Exhibition here. I think it could be a private. I've half considered putting him up, but
I think he'll contract after tomorrow, on Tuesday, because he'll win. I think.
Yeah.
I just think if Latest Exhibition's yards start to run better, then he could be a danger.
Yeah.
But at the moment, with the yard out of form, he's sort of levels getting dragged down a little bit by that. Last season, Paul Nolan's yard were running well, and he was running well. Now, that defeat by Pencil Full of Lead, I was really disappointed. And then yesterday's race, Pencil Full of Lead couldn't even win when he was sort of almost gifted the race by a Stadium for Longe. And he still couldn't, hold off Colreevy. So,
yeah.
I mean, Monkfish does look like maybe a big price because all the challengers are falling away.
Yeah.
And behind him.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll move on then, mate. We'll get on to probably the main race of the day, the Matheson Hurdle. 2 mile, I think, obviously with I can do with what's gone on with Leopardstown. It's a horse race. It's going to be of high interest now in the Champion Hurdle division. I've got two in this that I really like, and it's neither of the top two. Again.
So you've been reading my notes again.
Oh God, here we go.
You haven't actually.
No.
I think you're going to go for Aspire Tower and something else.
I am. Well, Aspire Tower's a horse I like, and I think he holds the best pace of form in this division this season with his win over Abracadabras, who then obviously went on to beat St. Roy. So using that form guide a little bit, I think he's underrated in the division. I think he should be shorter priced here, and the horse that I really like in the race, and a horse that I think is going to be a hell of a yardstick to see how good these actually are, is Sharjah. I think that I'm just trying to pull up the bloody prices because I'm on the wrong page. Yeah, I think he's about between 8 and 9 to 1 different places. He's a true yardstick of this division. And if any of these are going to be Champion Hurdle horses, then they're going to have to put him to bed. And let's remember, everybody rants and raves about Leopardstown. He was second last year in the Champion Hurdle. Obviously, Leopardstown gets the £7, and I think he was about 3.5 lengths behind her. So, realistically on form, on ratings, that puts him above Leopardstown and above anything else that ran in that division last season. And like I say, I think it's around 8 or 9 to 1. There is 8 in it, isn't there? 1, 2. Yeah, there's 8 in it. So I think an each way bet on him is an absolute knocking bet. I think he'll be up there. So yeah, that's where I stand on it. It'd be them two. Again, like I say, I just those two at the top. I've never been a fan of Abracadabras. Tried to get made into St. Roy a little bit, but I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing that he's if he wins this tomorrow, it might change my mind, but because I think it is a good test tomorrow to see who is going to be a champion hurdle contender. Yeah. So yourself,
I've got written here Sharjah and Saudi are two big prices.
right?
For what they've achieved, they're too big. Sunroy and Abacadabra are too short for what they've achieved so far. But they are the young pretenders.
Yeah.
Abacadabra gets real bad press because he just seems to dog it a bit. And maybe he should have won the Supreme last season, because he should have really won. But he didn't get dragged into the race long enough by the fallers in the Styrian Furlongs to the right. He didn't get dragged into the race far enough, and then he just thinks he's done enough. He did it again when he beat Sunroy. He got to the front and he stopped, and he's doing that a lot. And they need him to kick on, and he doesn't. He just wants to win, in a close race. Sunroy, they keep talking him up a lot. I mean, I hate these slow run races where there's 5 in a line coming to the last. But Aspire Tower should go out in front, should make this a test, and now we're going to see really who is the best. But at the prices, Sharjah on ground that he's going to like, because he didn't really like the ground in the Champion Hurdle last season, yet he still came second. So at the prices, he's got to be the each way play, because the ground's half decent for him.
Yeah.
And Aspire Tower is going to give him a pace to aim at. So for me, Sharjah each way has got to be the play.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, like, I look at I don't really understand why people think that Abracadabra is better, like he's shorter in the price. That's right to Aspire Tower. I mean, when they did run, there can't be any excuses there for Abracadabra. It was Aspire Tower's first run out as well, and he ran him into the ground and then powered away again at the end. I thought I was really impressed with that run, really impressed, and I thought it was a great bit of form to be looking at this, and it wouldn't surprise me if he does the same to him again here. But yeah, Sharjah will be the play, and probably stick a little forecast on Aspire Tower and Sharjah as well, just to be. So yeah, that's the main races in the day. I don't know if you've got anything else, Mark, but I do have a couple.
I don't know.
You don't know? Just a couple for me was there's a 12:20 at Newbury. I like Panic Attack. I think he's a very good each way bet in that one. The only poor runs he's ever had are at Cheltenham. I think take Cheltenham out of his form book, and I think it's very good. And the other one is it's in the 12:40 at Leopardstown. It's the maiden hurdle. Gordon Elliott's Fakir Delane. I'll be having a dabble on that as well. It's not a massive price, second or third favourite, but another horse that I think's been unlucky not to win so far, and I'll be back in that.
I don't fancy anything in the race, but I would advise people that are watching the video to watch the 3 o'clock at Newbury with Brave Man's Game.
Yeah.
In the Charlo Hurdle. I think it'll be a good race. It never seems to throw up a Cheltenham winner, but I think there's good horses in that race, and that horse Stargate of Evan Williams is in that as well. And there's probably 5 horses in there that have got a decent chance of winning. I couldn't pick one out, but I think it'll be an informative race.
Yeah.
I advise people watch it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, mate, very good. Well, we'll leave that one there then for you all today, and not sure when me and Mark will be back, but we'll certainly try and join you again soon. And it's been good to catch up, and hopefully a couple of winners are on the way with a bit of luck, especially with us both picking out the same one in a couple of races.
Would our best bets be the Floating Porter and Sharjah each way?
Yeah, Sharjah each way. I think if you can get the even money in the mares on Concertista, I'd definitely be backing that. And seeing as though we've both picked it out, I think the Florin Porter each ways, they're the 3. So we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Okay, mate.
Got it.
Yeah, speak to you soon.
Right, thanks a lot.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Bye.